Hello and welcome back to another episode of Cozy Man's Sky. I am Wilhelm III. This is No Man's Sky's Voyagers Expedition, and we're about to go and sell our first batch of smuggled goods to get our next expedition milestone. I didn't even realize when I first started that there were pirate expedition milestones. So, we're fully locked in now, boys. We are 100% a orbital platform of death and destruction in this universe. It's just the way it has to be. So essentially we're on an illegal beer run. We need to deliver some grog to some guy here in the next system over. All right, our pirate orbital platform has arrived in Ukali 11. Discovered by Esther, a Gek-dominated system with blue laws like they used to have back in where I grew up, where you couldn't buy alcohol on Sunday. So you sent some dude to drive across the border and bring back some beer to the party. That's essentially what we're doing today. Okay, so I had an idea. If I pop out while we're headed over there, we're basically gonna stop right above the atmosphere, right? Okay, so now we've auto-leveled just above the atmosphere. And if I move us, we're not directly above where we need to go, but if I move us right above our target here, or at least close enough, that ought to do it, right about there. So we're essentially at the edge of the atmosphere, right above where we need to take the beer. And what more epic way would there be to come in with some beer to the party than if we were to jump, like Halo jump, and also get the other really easy milestone I could have done a long time ago. Holy crap, look at that view. Oh my gosh. I'm about to Halo jump out the back of Judy to bring beer to this party on an alien world. The highest peak, no duh, but the tailgate of my ship apparently counts as the highest peak. All right, let's go ahead and we gotta actually be able to see this countdown. Okay, so we got 60 seconds. Oh crap, I thought it was 30 seconds. What can I do to slow this down? The smart play is to do this on like an airless world or a world that has very little gravity. But you know, we're doing it on the way to the beer run. So we're getting two stones with one bird. Anyway, a little bit over halfway to the 60 seconds. Okay, I seem to be doing all right. I kind of wish I didn't free fall for so long. We'd have a little bit more insurance, but okay. 15 seconds. We're getting a little bit close. We're getting a little bit close. What can I do? Is there a hole I can fall in? Why are there so many mountains? Oh my God, we're gonna hit the ground right before. Oh, good. My regular jump pack kicked in. Okay. Yeah. Woo! The beer has arrived, gentlemen. Where are you guys? Oh, nice. We got the rocket boots. So now in all of the non-combat areas like space stations and the anomaly, we'll be able to get around a whole lot faster, which is great. I was wondering why I lost the marker. I need to reselect it. Freaking hate this scanner. Oh crap, the fuzz! They're onto us! Okay, we just gotta make it over this hilltop so we're not in their line of sight. And then I can use this. Nice. Crap, they're still on our tail. We can make it over this ledge. We'll definitely be in the clear. Oh gosh, I think we found him. Gosh. Wait, Oh man, I tell you, this is so classic. There's only one guy left at the party when the beer gets here. Agents completes the prearranged security scan. They nod at me, ready to receive the order. I bet you are. There's your grog. Go ahead and save the game. We get a free navigation data, and the guy was able to scan me while I was doing that. That is so not fair. And I can't call in Judy while you guys are on my butt. Oh my gosh. All right, where can we hide? Oh, they're already shooting at me too. super aggressive sentinels on this planet. Cool lichen on the walls here. I think that's what that's called. And some sort of weird fungus on the ground as well. We'll see if my shield lasts long enough. I'm just going to let it a strategic recharge. There we go. Now, I don't know if I can just walk out of here. I think as soon as they see me, they're going to alert again. Let's go ahead and clear the way and grab some resources there. And then we're going to try to sneak past these guys. If we just stay... Oh, crap! They saw through it! Boys, we're busted! Where can we hide? Where can we hide? Oh, this rock might be a good way to break their line of sight. I see a glowing beacon on the horizon. Some sodium that I cannot resist. Grab those as we run. All right. Nice, and now we can call in Judy just as the frickin' storm is picking up. Man, it is awesome being able to call in your entire base to just land next to you. I mean, you can kind of build a good base inside the freighters, which eventually we'll end up doing. But I love the feeling of running through my base to jump into my cockpit and take off out of a storm from a hostile alien planet. Let's get out of here, Judy. Now, this looks like a special kind of asteroid. See? You can tell when they have platinum in them. But 7 platinum, I'm not going to go around and try to mine that forever. We got to find some more sources of platinum. But the expedition milestone didn't unlock for delivering that gra. So we've still got some illegal goods that I purchased on the pirate station. And we just need to sneak in to the space station. And I do not have the deflection scanner. And that is the noise of the deflections, or them scanning us, which would normally trigger the sentinels to come after us and stuff. But maybe it's scripted because I haven't been given the opportunity to build the cargo scan deflector. Maybe that's why it doesn't work. So we are just sneaking through, and there they go again, trying to scan our cargo. Now, I was smart, at least I think so, and I put all of the illegal goods into our storage modules, so they're not actually in my inventory or the inventory of the ship that we're in. So hopefully that is sort of the hack. It seems to have worked. All right, we are in the space station now, and all I have to do is sell the heap of illegal goods that I've got in our smuggling container. We're gonna make a lot of money. All right, banned weapons, 1,700,000 credits. Pirate transponders, about $500,000. And that should be enough. Yep, under their noses. Completed a smuggling run, our first of many. Oh man, that's awesome. So we just have to put stuff into one of the modules in the ship, and we can carry around just like Han Solo in his smuggling compartment. So unearthed treasure, aquatic treasure, and some inventory slots. Heck yeah, we need bigger pockets. That said, though, we also need space for some upgrades. So let's go ahead and just square this off. We've got 2 expansions for that, and then we'll pop the other one down here. There we go. A little bit bigger pockets and some more space for upgrades. Sick. So I'm going to go and grab the rest of the illegal cargo, which I forgot to grab before I left the ship the first time, and then we'll do another round of selling. While we're here, we might as well check out the mission agent too. Yeah, we've got some missions that we're already on. We'll go ahead and take the kill creatures missions, because we'll probably end up doing that just by accident anyway. And we need to do as much as we can to improve our standing with the Gek and the other standard races, because we're really messing it up with our pirate attacks on their trade vessels. But it's worth it. Now let's go ahead and sell our ill-gotten goods. What do we got? What do we got? Some counterfeit circuits. I want to hold on to a couple of these because they're good for making the cargo deflector, I believe. So we'll hold on to 5 of them. We can get rid of all the banned weapons, the first spawned relicts, the blood salt, gra, all our extra beer, and then just the other only tradable items. And I think we just got, oh gosh, there's a whole nother page of these. Stolen DNA, prismatic feathers. Okay, we're over 20k units now. Get rid of these and the sulfuric whale bones. 21 million units. Hell yeah! And we got one more thing that we can sell. We got our extra upgrades that we don't plan on using. Yeah, the Blaze Javelin is trash. I'll take that 500 nanites. The Photon Cannon module we might actually be able to use. We definitely aren't going to use the Geology Cannon module, though. And heck, I'll go ahead and take the 386. They're only worth 16 nanites if you try to install them and then sell them later. So it's better not to take the gamble when you need the nanites as bad as we do. And then let's see what we can buy. A Phase B module would be good, but we don't use those. The Pulse Engine module we really do need. I don't want to waste a whole lot of nanites, but that one's kind of important. The Hyperdrive module would also be great, so we can travel a little further. The Positron module, we're actually using this a lot to stun the other ships, and then some more power on our ship. I said I wasn't going to buy a lot, and jeez, I spent every nanite we have, but I think it's worth it. I kind of wish I got the Cyclotron module, but yeah, not enough nanites. We'll get it next time. And back to Judy. So I got to thinking, why don't we go ahead and refine all of our pugnium into nanites? We get 40, so not a whole lot, 25 to 1 on pugnium, but you usually end up with a whole lot of it. Let's just pop all of what we got in there. And okay, so I get 1 more. So worthless, but you know, I'm not using pugnium for anything else. What else have we got? I mean, it's not as worthwhile, but might as well keep the furnace burning on some rust while I go about doing some other stuff. What do we got that I can throw in here? So I think it's time to diversify our dust. We're going to take this ferrite dust that we have in our pocket, turn it into pure ferrite, and then we've got the rust making regular ferrite, and we got cactus flesh making cactus juice over here. Man, I feel so productive. Sometimes inventory management, just getting everything nice and neat, gives you all the fuzzies. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Let's just see how these are doing. Those 72% done. None of these are quite done yet. But I feel like I'm doing something because all the machines are doing something. Does that make sense? It's like I feel like I'm doing work when the dishwasher is running, or when any of the other machines around the house are doing their thing, you know? Even if something's in the oven, it feels like you're being more productive. What else do we have to do? We're really narrowing it down. We've only got a few more to do. There's a couple of milestones, check-ins, I mean. 2 more that we need to do. And then find a deep space anomaly. That's pretty easy. Maybe we do that one next. 92% done. My cactus juice is almost ready. My cactus juice. Oh, just how I like it. Straight out of the nutrient processor. Now, it does turn into processed sugar. So, alrighty then. What do we got? Okay, 85%. This one's done. So now we've got a bunch of pure ferrite dust. We'll pop it in the long-term storage. We don't need that in our pocket all the time. What else can we pop in here? Dirt? Why do I have a single dirt? It is a dirt. Those are good for upgrading buildings in your settlements when we get to that point. I'm really looking forward to when we actually have a settlement that we're managing as well. All right, so our rust is done refining into ferrite dust. If we had a whole bunch of extra oxygen, you can refine the ferrite dust with oxygen back into rust, then the rust back into ferrite dust, so you can kind of loop it around like that. I think while we're waiting on finding some nip-nip seeds to start our nip-nip business, why not grow some peyote? Also, this is sort of like an infinite source of sugar cubes. Peyote psychedelic sugar cubes is what we're going to call them. But if the authorities ask their succulents to be used on your desks for... Oh, God. I fell through the back rooms. Let's head up again. Every now and then you got to be careful when you're editing stuff in your Corvette. You could fall through the floor. Eventually, I think they'll get that fixed. Now, while we're at it, I was wanting to put the Gravitino balls over in these beds. Right now, we've got the gamma root growing here, so let's go ahead and get those out of the way. Careful not to delete the whole thing. There. And now I can plant new stuff. Gravitino host. Boom. These just look, you know, they're white, they glow. They kind of fit the whole aesthetic of the ambassador units, I think. Next to my med pod. Those are the magic glowy balls that I use to to heal myself when I'm not using the bone butter that I made in the other episode. If you know, you know. We're gonna create a quest for bone nuggets and bone butter in our playthrough. What else has we got? A tiny scuttlefish. What do you make? A fish fry? That sounds good. But it's only a single shrimp assist, so it's not gonna fill us up. What else do we have? What does gamma root turn into? Ooh, some radioactive beans? Yes, please. I will take your radioactive beans. Okay, while we're waiting on those to cook, let's do a little bit of practice for, you know, when we get pulled over. Let's get our story straight. So you be the cop, and I'll be, you know, trying to talk our way out of this. All right. Officer, what did I do? Was I speeding around that asteroid belt? Oh, what do you mean? Nip buds? No, I've never touched this stuff. Look at me. I'm completely straight-laced. I mean, what? Peyote sugar cubes? I'd never heard of such a thing. And radioactive beans? Oh, I would never. Is that believable? Is that believable? Whoop, that's the timer on my microwave. I've got to go. All right, what do the beans turn into? All right, just regular steamed vegetables. I feel like there's going to be something better to do with those later, so I'm going to hold on to those. And then, what else have we got? Bone butter. For sure got loads of bone butter. What happens if we try to combine different things? Okay, we get the seafood stew with 2 of them, but what about all 3? Steve's bounty. How could I say no? Extra inventory space and probably something that's worth more when we eventually want to sell these or eat them. I'm not sure what the best thing to do with them is. Loads of different recipes we haven't unlocked yet. Fun. All right, so we gotta find a space anomaly and we need to do a frigate mission, and I think this will count for both. So let's again get 2 rocks with 1 bird and see if we can knock these both out. All right, we found our freighter, and yes, it does count as encountering an anomaly. So just showing up at it counts as finding it. And now for the other one, we're just gonna need to land and go through it all. But let's unlock this one first and see what we get. Heck yeah! They give you inventory space right before you're going on to the freighter. That's a really good milestone logic. So, if you don't know, there is loads and loads of salvage that you can get on these freighters. And one of the biggest pain in the butts is you don't have access to your regular inventory while you're in there. You can't save your game. You only have the space in your pockets. You can't put things back on your ship unless you actually come all the way back out to your ship. So, you know, you always want to make sure that you go into the freighter missions with as little in your pockets as possible. And now we are going to completely explore and investigate this entire thing. I think in order to actually get the milestone, you only need to progress through the entire freighter, get to all the computers and unlock them. But we are gonna get every scrap of loot that we can out of here, or we're going to refine the nanites out of some of the other special materials that we'll end up getting. Oh gosh. So we end up getting a bunch of tainted metal in these missions now, and those refine into nanites. It's one of the best sources because it's 1 to 2. We want to go ahead and pick up the emergency supplies before you interact with the computer, because at least in the past you always got double resources that way. I still think that that works. We'll see. So salvage likely, as it says, 95% of the interior is still okay. The gravity systems never work every single time. That's why you get this sort of slower walk that they force you into, and you can't jump at all, in addition to not having access to your storage on your ship and things. Plus, it is cold as balls in here, y'all. But we're good because we have the 2 shields to protect us from the cold, so we should be fine with that. And oh, nice. It used to be that it kicked you back out and you had to do the dialogue again if you accepted the supplies in the menu there. But maybe we got like triple supplies now. I don't know if that's true, but that'd be awesome. It does look like we're getting 3 of everything, but I don't know if you're supposed to just get 1 and we got 3 because of that little trick or not. Let me know in the comments if you know. So yeah, here's the little salvage opportunity detected mission on the right there. This is kind of double duty because we're clicking that off of our main campaign requirements, as well as the requirements for this expedition. And I am just going to pop around, see money, all sorts of tainted metal. That's the one that refines into the nanites, which we're hoping to get loads and loads of. Plus, as we work our way through here, we got some of the glowy jellyfish green guys. These guys don't really mess with you unless you get too close to them, so I'm not going to attack them. They don't really do any damage. There are other creatures and security systems that randomly can generate. We might run into those later, or we might get super lucky and this one's like easily clear. One thing you want to remember as well with these tablets, they give you a few nanites and they give you a little bit of lore, which is interesting. But what we're really hoping for is the security pass that we need for one of the other computers that we're going to find further in. So it's kind of scripted. It's like on the 3rd one or on the 4th one that you open, you get it. Heck yeah. So we found a freighter that gives it to you really early, which is also super, super valuable. You want one that gives you that, a salvage frigate module. All right. So that's going to help us upgrade our frigate when we finally get there. But yeah, you want a freighter that has loads of loot, which this one so far has loads and loads of canisters to open. Not a lot of security measures or aliens to fight past. The best possible option is getting these green jellyfish, I think, if you're going to have something. These guys are pretty, harmless. Neural ducts are also super valuable. Hadal cores refine into nanites. We're going to pop on these heating units as we move around, just to kind of, while we're looting, not lose our shields so fast. But so far, this is shaping up to be a really, really good freighter overall. I'm just going to make sure that I get all of the canisters in this room before we move on. These neural ducts are like really, really, really valuable, I think. Oh, and we get construction blueprints as well. That's right. So as we go around, you can randomly get some construction blueprints for your base, which is pretty cool. You can get all the different artifacts that you find. See, that's the same orange barrel there. Now this door here, I believe, is a dead end. Oh, there's a little alien in a canister. You can see this one got out. We might run into some of those nests later if this is one of those types of freighters. I'll turn the heater unit on so we're not freezing our butts off while we get our... See, 23,000 units. I mean, you know, it's not a whole lot in one canister, but by the end of this, we'll probably get a couple mil. Plus, we'll fill our pockets with resources we can refine or sell. I just love these. And the fact that each one is a little bit different. And if you go through and read all the PDAs, they actually give you some funny stories and stuff sometimes. Ooh, Storm Crystal is just money. Those are really difficult to collect. You have to be on an extreme planet with extreme storms and be fighting your way through an actual active storm to find them. Really great source of resources early on in a fresh playthrough. But see, you can just get them out of a box. You don't have to fight your way through everything. All right, chill, guys. Let's just turn on the heaters. I think it would be fun to do a run of like permadeath, and where the only thing you're allowed to do is raid, you know, lost freighters for resources and stuff. And you got to come in here with no oxygen, no shield, no nothing, and you're just scavenging, you know, as you go through. So this is one of the more interesting ones. It's a probe on this quartermaster. Internal body temperature below average, distress level high. Conclusion: expunge. So you sometimes get funny notes from the captain as well. Oh God, I hit my head on one of the jellyfish. All right, let's see what this one says. Yeah, captain's eyes only. Name: Subroka Usava. Specialism: biological intervention. Hyperspace sensitivity 0, subtlety 4%, enthusiasm 88%, company approval rating 78%, predicted remaining lifespan 24.9 years. Addendum: captain's personal notes. The crew believes them cursed. Morale is suffering. So yeah, you can go through and sort of carefully read all of those if you want to, and they all sort of tell a different story. One of the computers will give us sort of a really good log entry from the captain when we get there in a minute. I don't think there's anything else to get in here. Nope. Yeah, we're not going to shoot the unstable canisters just because they might set off the turrets and stuff if there are security systems in here. We don't want to deal with that. This one here, because it's got that purple sign on the top with the 0, that means it's not the way out. This is a dead end, but we still want to see what's in here. So these canisters with the aliens in them, some of the freighters are totally infested with those guys, and it's a real pain in the butt. But so far, we are being really lucky. Descented bottles are actually awesome as well. They are good for upgrading the bars and saloons at your settlements when we finally get there. They're cheap to sell, but I'm going to hold on to that because we got loads of storage on our Corvette. Where's the way out of here? Okay, so it's down this stupid thing in the way. So it's down this hallway here. We should get another door. Yeah, that has a number and an arrow. So yeah, 3 is the way forward. So if you're trying to get through these quickly, skip the ones that have red above the door. And we have the first computer. Nice. This will give us the crew manifest. But right now we're kind of doing a standard search pattern. We're going all the way around from right to left. So I'll get to there in just a second. That's just a dead end. We got canister and some snippets. We're going to see what the snippets are. We don't need to open these anymore, but I just want to see if there's anything interesting. Personal bioscan last detected 11 days ago. Biometric reads indicates consciousness co-opted by external routine. No further life signs. Okay, let's see what we got for the crew manifest. We're not going to turn on the teleporter next to it. Those are only useful if you're going back to your ship because you don't have enough space in your inventory for the stuff that you're picking up. But the crew manifest will basically tell us sort of where people were and what they were doing when everything went wrong on this particular freighter. So commanders and how many people. Yeah, 35 professionals, 84 conscripts. 1 partner Gek frozen in stasis. Poor guy. 1 guy who's just a trainee and 1 prisoner in transit. There was 1 guy who was like in stasis. So that guy got screwed. He never even probably woke up. No detected biological traces match crew records. Yeah, so everybody's dead. Or mutated. Where was everybody on the day they disappeared? He's in a redacted area. The captain, the lieutenants in the AI monitoring station, the temporary officers, AI coolant chamber, biosecurity for the third guy. So yeah, they were up to something. They were up to something no good, and it did not go well. Oh my Lord, look at this. We've got like a whole freaking, yeah, so I've searched this side, but we've got a whole like locker room full of stuff. And this is their little sleeping area. You could fit 2 or 3 Geks in there. Okay, so that's probably the way forward. Let's just take a peek-see. Yeah, so that's the way forward. 4 with the arrow. 4th chamber. But we're not leaving here without checking these out. All right, some Gek nip. Korvax casing. Those are good for selling, but also good for raising your reputation level with the Korvax, so you can give them away and kind of raise your standing with them. Some projectile ammunitions. So using my scanner will show me not only where, you know, the lootable canisters are, but that little icon on them will disappear once they're looted. See? So you can tell which ones you've actually done and if you've missed anything. So if you're on a scavenge run like we are right now, we are cleaning up. The descented bottles, I know they seem worthless now, but gosh, they're hard to get if you don't have them. And I like to have an S-class saloon at each of my settlements for sure. The Viking dagger is the same as the Corvette's casing, but for the Viking. And you have Gek relics, which you use for the Gek. Another reason why I'm so excited, oh gosh, get out of the way of these freaking aliens, but the reason why I'm so excited about this layout and the type of aliens and stuff, if you take note of the star system that you're in, when you find an awesome freighter that has a good layout and a lot of loot in it, you can use anomaly detectors over and over and over again in that system, and you'll always get the same freighter. It won't always be the exact loot in each thing. You know, you can't be like, oh, that's the canister that had the good thing in it. I'll just go get that one canister. It's still RNG, like random what you get, but it's the number of canisters that you get. The type of alien, which is kind of harmless on this one. The layout that gives you the identification card that you need really early on. Like, all these things are really, really good. And if we get to the very end, and we can fabricate like a good module for our Corvette or a good upgrade for our frigate when we finally get to that point, you can keep going back. Like if you get an S-class upgrade, the type of upgrade will change, but you'll always get an S-class, you know? And God, this thing is just weighted down with tainted metal, which for me is like the best resource because it refines directly into nanites really easy and fast. It's not one of the resources that takes forever, like freaking living slime or something where you're waiting for 15 or 20 minutes for anything useful. All right, so that room was highly profitable. Let's see what we find in here. And it's a hole to jump in. Sure, let's do this. Oh my gosh, I always try not to touch the ladder, and I have never once successfully dropped down one of those without starting to climb up the ladder. Oops, I didn't mean to open this, but let's look at it anyway. Event records. Unspecified door error in cargo security room. Maintenance security notified. Lock malfunction in shuttle hangar. Bridge alerted. Nanite cloud in cargo security room. Pressure compartment vented into space. Oh no, all the nanites. Maybe that's why all of these canisters have tainted metal in them, because the nanites, they're actually quite a lot smarter. They're like little microcomputers. Nice. The next computer that we need to search is up there too. But they're actually sort of like a swarm, like an intelligence. You find out more and more about them as you go through the main campaign. And so maybe they were smart enough to realize they were going to be vented, and they infested all the metal. That's my mind lore for this one. AI internal memory decryption. Probe report for Petty Officer Rogafai. ration consumption average, uniqueness of appearance high, oxygen use below average, more testing required. Yeah, why isn't this dude breathing? That is why I would be concerned too. If he doesn't use oxygen, there's a problem there. All right, we got a few more canisters to search before we can get over to the computer. Units. Storm crystals. I mean, so it's like units in different packages. Storm crystals are just units. Neural ducts are just units. All right, we got everything in here. Let's check out the security mainframe. So this is the one that you need that ID card for that we got in our first PDA. So it's going to say that it needs the captain. We're going to say the captain is dead. He's not living no more. So it accepts that we have said that the captain's dead. It's already done the bioscan previously, so it knows no one's... Uh-oh. We're going to get hit by one of these guys. I can't move, so... Sorry, buddy. That's your fault. So we log in using the credentials that we got. The temporary officer Onberger log will record you as temporary commander. And this is the last significant entry of the actual captain. On shore leave, the whole crew went swimming in the acid sea of Hatrix. We have become so much more. We see with so many eyes, so many hearts. I always loved the water. Beyond the end of all things, there is glass. Even a child knows this. Mine did. They became a priest. They grew to be beloved to the Atlas, recruiting followers from Valeron to Lost Alaris. Time has taught me this. There is always a way. I will find him. I dreamt of water. It is how it begins. It is how it always begins. Do you still believe in the light of the infinite? Do you still believe there is any saving you? There are 16 minutes till I die. 16 minutes. I will find my child. I will find peace. So, they're all something interesting like that. There's a lot of different ones. They give you loads of pieces of lore. I love them. We'll definitely be reading them in full every time we do a freighter run, even if I skip some of the PDA entries that aren't as funny or interesting. This one I'm kind of intending on doing unedited, like the full run through, so that you guys see the whole crawl. Yep, this one's a dead end, but we're going to check it out anyway, because sometimes there's especially good loot down in these little dead end areas. Ooh, this guy had a fancy, yeah, this is like, he had a desk and a heater and 2 beds. Monitoring maintenance log accessed. Event record follows. Ship AI fault in fuel storage tank 4. System rebooted. High level security pass used in records room. Repair drones deployed. Redacted containment failure in main engineering. Outcome internal alert level raised. Okay. This is like the status report is things we're sliding into chaos on this freighter. The guys in here like, what the heck is going on? And those other guys who were in the redacted areas or the AI monitoring stations and stuff, they were clearly the ones that were trying to hijack the ship. All right, so where are we going now? That corner. Quick scan just to double check we didn't miss anything on the way. And we're good to go. Section 5. Here we go. What have you got? Still none of the nasty aliens. Turn on the heating unit. Couple of scavenge. Hypnotic eye. Alright. For the hypnotic eyes, you normally have to kill like an abyssal horror down at the bottom of an ocean. So again, it's a resource that's kind of rare, that it's nice to just throw into your inventory, because eventually you're going to need one for something. I think there's some things you can do with cooking the hypnotic eyes as well. Now, what have we got on this log? Personal data record access for Technigek Taslagvago, medical data stamp, auto-transcribing audio. Okay, so this is his audio message. Keeps glitching out, showing places that aren't there. Barricades inside the... Can't get out. We can't get... Okay. Yeah. Creepy, creepy. So, hidden door. It is kind of odd that the whole crew would have to go through that tiny little gap there to access this area. So maybe the nanites like infested the ship after they infested the metal, and they could actually move the parts around. Whoops, I spun the chair instead of opening. Oh, nip nip buds! Yes! The nip nip journey begins, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, that is a game change. We can now sell nip nips everywhere and make a bunch of money. Some relatticed art crystals and glistening eggs that containment was broken on. Somehow, yeah, it's referencing, so see here, yeah, we got more of those containers. So this one got out. You'll usually find those around. Oh, cool, we can see straight out of the ship. We'll usually find these guys on the ships that are infested, but this one kind of has the canisters, which gives you the living slime, which you can refine into nanites, but it takes forever and it's really not worth it. But yeah, so we get the resources from them without having to deal with fighting them, which is, again, a real reason to remember where this particular freighter is and come back here and do some more. Good luck with that. I'm not stopping to write it down now, and if somebody else could take note and put it in the comments, that would be awesome. Because the other thing is, with this run, I think rather than farming the same one over and over again, it's going to be fun to see new ones and, you know, different. Because one thing too is the captain's log is always the same when you do the same one over and over again. So now we get to fabricate items. Hell yeah! Let's see how good this thing really is. So we have some different choices, but I'm definitely going to do the Corvette modules for now. I mean, that's what this run is all about. But you could get a new piece of technology, or you could fabricate something, you know, for your freighters. But we don't even have a freighter yet, so it's an easy choice. So it's compressing it down into a tiny little portable package that I can put in my pocket, and it's a Thunderbird Heavy. So that's a pretty good upgrade. The Thunderbird Heavy booster, some firebox owling, anything else, 2 of those, and that's it. So, okay, well, reward. I wouldn't say that that was amazing, but it was pretty good. And we now completed another check mark. So we get the personal force field, which I actually don't care for anyway. And now we turn on this transporter, which takes us all the way back to the beginning, and we can get out of here. Nice run. I feel weighted down with nanites and cash. That was actually really, really lucky. Look at how good Judy looks over there. It's like a flying city. It's like an orbital defense platform. That's what we're going around in. I freaking love it. Whoops, getting lost in my own ship. Let's go ahead and pop in here so I can show you guys what this tainted metal does. Yeah, we got the 4 nip buds, which means we can definitely start planting those. So we got 384 tainted metal, and turns into 768 actual nanites. So a couple of minutes for that to refine. Want to make sure that we don't warp or go anywhere while that's refining. So what else can we do while we wait? I think planting the nip buds. I mean, obviously, right? All right. We got greenhouse number 1 here with 2 nip buds on the right and 2 cacti on the left. We got to chuck 1 in there, and that's all we can build for now. But that's all we need, because the only thing we need now is the seeds off of these guys. When we harvest them, we can replant them until we have as big a garden as we want. And then we'll harvest them and sell them in 3-star economies. You always want to go to a 3-star economy system. That way you can sell off your nip buds for the highest price, because those rich guys like to buy nip buds too. They just don't like anybody to know about it. So what to do now? I love our ship. Oh my God, I love my ship. Judy, you are the best. Just cook these nanites. There we go, 768 nanites. And that's just out of what we scavenged out of the lockers. We're still gonna go and sell the crew manifest and the captain's log for even more tainted metal in a second. So we're just gonna pop back into the station. You can give your tainted metal to the embassy guy in here, but it makes a lot more sense. See, there's 2 markers there. It makes more sense to go to the bottom one. The guy under the stairs is where you can get your tainted metal. So, on the way to the stairwell, we might as well stop by the mission guy here, because we can actually hand in our mission, even though it's from the pirate system. We can hand it in with this guy here. And he waves his finger at me because he knows what we did now. Dude, you asked me to kill a bunch of creatures, so don't be judging. And now we have a forged passport, which is really important because if your reputation is really, really bad, you can use the forged passport to get yourself out of trouble. So this guy can smell on us that we've got a crew manifest and offers us the tainted metal. So we get 200 for the crew manifest, and then we're going to go back in because we have to have 2 conversations with this guy to sell each one. Hopefully they'll fix that too, and you can just sell both at once. But I guess if you wanted to give 1 to one and 1 to the other guy. So it's 300 for the second one, and then that means that it's 500 total. So you get 1,000 nanites just always when you do a freighter mission. On top of that, we got the 4 Hadal cores for 200 nanites. So once I'm done refining these last stack of tainted metal, we'll have just under 2,000 nanites for that 1 freighter mission. In addition to the free module or whatever you decide to fabricate at the end, you could decide to get more nanites at the end of the freighter mission if you wanted to. That's why I love them so much. Okay, that really just leaves us getting to the next checkpoint or 2 and 1 or 2 hanging low fruit that we might be able to get. How far can we jump? Okay, not quite all the way there, but I can see it. 1 or 2 more jumps and we'll be there. Okay, so we don't have to do this right now, but we still have this dioxide freaking delivery from forever ago. So let's go ahead and pop down here and drop these off. I'm freaking delivering dioxide to a frozen world. Why do they need dioxide on a frozen world? This dude is just lazy. He could probably just walk out of his front door and grab it. Okay, so we got a trading station down here. It's actually where we're dropping it off at. So maybe it's like one of these quantum lockers. So we put it in the box here and he can take it out wherever he's at on some hot planet somewhere. Ugh. Go ahead and pick up the sodium because I can't resist. And oh my gosh, the fuzz. All I did was pick a flower. Okay, I punched that other one, but that's not my fault. I was running from you, and the hazardous flora is more hazardous to me than I am to it. Give me your rich, salty flowers. Ooh. Technology module. I'll take you. Thank you very much. Start. You think I can make it? Oh, double punch, and we made it. All right. So now we just got to run up here and drop off this stuff at the trade terminal here. Client delivery key presented. Accessing. I have found the client's secure lockbox. I should deposit the item and register my delivery. There you go. And now we got to go back up to the mission guy at the space station in order to collect our reward, but we can do that in any system. We don't have to do it here, so after I catch the easy money in the sky, we're gonna move on. All right, so I've done a little bit of resource collection, which wandered me away from Judy, so I'm calling her in so we can get off of this Hoth-looking world. Back in the nice, warm, cozy interior of Judy. Hey, girl, let's get out of here. And we can actually jump all the way there, I think. It's just that little icon on the system we were on is just the delivery mission, and we'll do that in the next space station when we're checking in. All right, what have we got here? The Ushuna Reddit system. Corvex dominated and at war with 6 planets. Okay, cool. Discovered by Hello Games, of course, because it's one of the check-in systems. Now, before we check in, actually, I noticed there's this base called Oxygen Farm. So that will be massively helpful if we can get a load of oxygen, because that just basically means infinite ferrite dust, infinite, pure ferrite, magnetized ferrite, because we can use our refiner trick with rust to basically just create a loop where from like one ferrite, as long as you have a lot of oxygen, you have as much ferrite as you want. All right, so we've got a frozen planet. Let's try to fix our angle of approach here. Not crash into the mountain. Oh, whoa, Judy. You slapped the ground with your booty there. We're basically like 2 feet above the ground, but that's fine. We didn't actually land, so we're not using our launch fuel. Just jump right out. And okay. Uh-oh. There seems to be some terrain here in the way. Hopefully we can still access what we need. Yeah, nothing's got power. Everything's offline. Okay, so there's like solar panels under there, and yeah, I can't do anything like edit this away, but okay. Well, okay, we can get to the supply depot, which does have 5,000 max storage in it. Okay, fair play. We got our 5,000 oxygen. Now, calm down, Sentinels. I'm literally not hurting anything. This is what these are designed for. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put back into the furnace some of the oxygen that we just picked up to pay it forward. Because you should always do that when you visit someone's base. You should fill up all of their bioreactors with whatever you can if you're getting stuff from their base, like harvesting things from their gardens or taking things from their refiners. Should always give back what you can. All right, so we've got all of the furnaces filled up. Sentinels, I was literally putting things in the furnaces. I'm being a good guy here. Oh my gosh. Unnecessary. No good deed goes unpunished, You're trying to do the right thing, and you guys are literally shooting at me now. All right, let's warp out of here. Or beam out of here, I mean. Now these morons have no idea where I am. All right, well, I'm getting lost in my own ship, so how smart am I? All right, well, now that we've got our easy oxygen, that was so awesome. Thank you to whoever built that base. Ah, crap. Now they're chasing us with the frickin'... I don't want to fight a whole thing. But there is a milestone for the emergency warp. So what if we tried that? Which one is it? Oh god, they're already on my tail. Oh, there it is. I've never used the emergency warp before, so it took me a second to find it. But wow, that worked out perfectly, actually. I thought it was bad luck, and in the end, our karma actually paid out. We did the right thing, and we got a free milestone. So, we have no idea where we are, though. Guri-Ray-Lamag system. Discovered by Goghead 77. All right. So it sends you to a random system, but we got our milestone, which only leaves, I think, like 1 or 2 more. All right. Fast scramble. Corvette hull modules pack. All right. So this will give us some more sort of cosmetic pieces to tack on. Nice. Might trade those for more habitation modules when we want to further increase the size of Judy's girth. But that'll be post expedition, I think. I think we're going to carry Judy in her current form through these last couple of check-ins. Oh, nice juicy fleet. Where are we? Oh, a 3-star system as well. Okay, and we didn't go too far from where we were. So a 3-star system will have a really good economy. And a good economy should have loads of nice goodies. Let's just see. I mean, we can always use our emergency warp again, right? Let's just... Oh gosh, we're pissing off the Viking, which is probably a bad idea. Bromide salt. See, that's not a really good resource, but You can't stop an orbital platform from destroying. We just take what we want. Oh, the fuel is actually good for when we have a frigate. Or freighter. The frigate fuel is actually really useful. Whoops, I grazed the thing and now we're engaging the... Or at least we can see the shields and everything on the freighter. We really just want the cargo pods though. We're just after your cargo. Let it go. The insurance will cover it. Ooh, my phase beam does a really good job actually. Ooh, a salvage frigate module. Again, when we have a frigate, this stuff is going to be super useful. Try not to blow up the ship with people on it. Okay. Let's go ahead and try this again. Uh-oh. My emergency warp doesn't work. Why doesn't my emergency warp work? That's a bit of a tongue twister. Okay, emergency repairs whilst under attack. We got most of what we need. We need one warp cell, which is easy enough. Antimatter. We got the antimatter housing. And one warp cell. There we go. Gosh, they're still just strafing me. All right, we got our emergency warp. And we got to remember that thing breaks every time. All right, well, we pissed off the Viking. That's fine. And I learned how the emergency warp works. So those are our wins, our takeaways. And we got a couple of good modules there as well. All right, where did we pop out this time? Uh-oh. All right, we're not too far away, but definitely a lot further than we were the first time. So yeah, that's a random distance. Maybe it just doesn't shunt you too far on the first go. That might be scripted as well, or we might have just got lucky. Hello, Station AI. I love how each one of these, I mean, they're all recognizably the same, but they're all uniquely different as well. Hey. All right, you gonna let me imprint my traveler Wilhelm III. All right, that's another rendezvous station down. And we got some starship inventory slots for that one. And something called a Deadeye cannon? What's a Deadeye cannon? I want a Deadeye cannon. Oh, there it is. It's of course, it's a Corvette part. It's not... And we can craft them. I just need some solar mirrors as well. They gave me one freebie and the blueprint. And I'm gonna make a couple of these. 1 second, guys. Alrighty. Oh, okay. It makes sense that they would use a lot of metal plating, actually. That makes sense. I want to have at least 3 or 4 of these. That way we can pop them all around. Alright, Deadeye Cannon. It's going to increase our damage and fire rate and heat dispersion. Okay. I like how upgrades are physical things for our Corvette instead of just modules that we install, you know, in a menu or something. All right, that's nice and balanced on each side there. But I got a few more here. I don't see why we shouldn't just kind of pepper these all over the place, at least to start with. That's a good spot for one. And then we got to balance it over here. Boom. All right. I like that for now. Let's take a look at it. Oh, guy, look out. It went straight through me. All right. Yeah. Our orbital battle platform is taking shape. I love it. All right. Let's see how close can we get to the final one. Oh, man. We're one jump away. Okay. We'll make it to the one system over. Well, folks, we're reaching the end of our hour. I know it. You know it. It's time to sign off. We'll pick it up here on the next episode of Cozy Man Sky with our next rendezvous and trying out the battle systems on our platform here. Well, I definitely am not lying, guys. We're gonna be in a battle when the next one starts. We'll see you then.